Hi, I'm Bobby Maggie with Federal Educators, and welcome to the Federal Employee Benefit Show. Our experience in working with federal employees has taught us that no one solution is right for every situation. In today's show, we're going to help answer the most common questions we receive every day. How will I retire, and when am I eligible to retire? What is MRA? What year would you like to retire? How do I calculate my FERS, my CSRS annuity? And what is the cost of survivor benefit? What happens to FEGLI when I retire? And what should I do with my TSP? Should I buy back military time? And when should I elect Social Security? Should I roll my TSP to an IRA? And what about Roth or traditional IRAs? We understand your benefits, its strengths, and its weakness, and we know how to help you get the most from your retirement plan. This show is to help educate you on your federal benefits and help you take full advantage of all that your federal benefits have to offer. When it comes to your federal employee benefits, what you don't know can hurt you. So sit back and take some notes. All of this and more on the Federal Employee Benefit Show, and it starts right now.
When's the last class you had on federal benefits, or how to retire, or how to have an income plan, or a tax plan, or even an investment plan? We don't have those classes, right?
Today, I will answer the question, can federal employees realistically retire in their 50s?
What is FERS? Special Provisions Eligibility for Law Enforcement, Firefighters, and Air Traffic Control. What is early out? And what does credible coverage mean? Did you get all that?
Coming up next on the Federal Employee Benefits Show, the Roundtable segment.
Welcome back. Thank you for taking your time today to watch the Federal Benefits Show. And the reason why we do this is we believe in helping people. And there's so much education that people need to receive. And I remember this, and I always say it. When's the last class you had on federal benefits, or how to retire, or how to have an income plan, or a tax plan, or even an investment plan? We don't have those classes, right? I went to high school, and there was no class on that. There was no class on how to buy a home. Went to college, majored in finance and accounting, and guess what? I had to go seek it. But you work all day. Federal employees, we see, they're so dedicated, right? Yeah. They work for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 plus years. And guess what? They don't even know how to retire. So we do a lot with education. Kirk, we talk about the webinars. What do those look like?
Sure. We provide education top to bottom. So all the topics that we have been speaking about through all these shows, TSP, FEHB, FEGLI, survivor benefit, the special supplement, and more. So our webinars, 90 minutes. We keep them to about a 90-minute time frame, but we cover everything, right? Top to bottom. The education, as you said, that the federal employees are lacking. So many times they'll come in and tell us, it's like, well, nobody taught me how to do that. Boy, I've learned more in 90 minutes watching your webinar. We hear this often than I have in the 15, 20 years that I've been a federal employee. TSP, for example, think about that. There's only 5 funds to choose from in the TSP, GF, CS, and I. I had a client call us up once who was working for the VA. This was in Chicago, actually. And she said, how come my TSP is 2 times as small as my husband's 401k. He worked in the private sector. They started their new jobs at the same time. Younger couple, they were in their mid-40s. And I said, well, how are you invested? And she said, well, what do you mean by that? That was the first thing. I said, well, what fund are you in? She said, well, I'm in the G fund. They told me, open my TSP, put your money in the G fund. That's a safe fund, the government fund, as we know. I said, well, there's the first thing. You got a fund that's getting 1% to 2% at the most. And there's just no education on that. That's what we
that is
talk
another
about.
Topic right there, more than itself, because it's called the risk tolerance and investment planning. Where do you put and allocate your money? Is the G fund, is the C, S, I, F fund, and then they have the L funds. And they came out recently where you can get the mutual funds. So someone who works all day, dedicated employees, as the federal employees that we see, they work for so long, they're not thinking about retirement. That's why when they come in, the questions that they have, they don't understand. Some clients come in and they don't even know they get a pension. My gosh, we've seen that story multiple times. So you talk about webinars that we do, the seminars, and what do you got in your hand? What is that?
I have this book called The Informed Fed, which we co-authored. It's kind of the Reader's Digest version of your TSP, your FEGLI, your CSRS. We have it online. Just go to Federal Educators, and we even have a commercial on it. But this is something that we give to our clients because you need help. And we've had a client, Kirk will tell you, that took this book back, and she read the whole thing and finally realized that she could go from stay a little bit longer and get to 1.1% instead of the 1%.
Which increased her pension.
Which the pension.
Exactly.
Let me just go back to one thing that Kirk was mentioning. On our website, you and I recorded a version, all of us did, just on FEGLI, just on FEHB, just on, just the topic. And what most federal employees get, Chris, is they have to go to a website to look at these seminars or webinars. They have no idea what they're being told. So when you take a personal approach like we do, and we sit down with you and we do it right because we answer your question, it's not a 15-minute meeting.
No.
It's an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours.
This is a process that we're going to
Yeah.
educate you on your benefits.
Correct.
So your agency is not doing that. If you have an advisor, they're not doing that.
Well, go back to an agency. If you folks work for an agency right now, we talked about Social Security, invite us in because we can do the seminar right there for your whole entire agency.
So we can educate the whole group of
Absolutely.
where they work.
Yeah, we'll even give them a free book and even our brochure.
And also, we've done that for the VA. We've done it
ICE.
for the VBA,
Yep.
the ICE, right? So whatever your agency is, get with your director, reach out to us, and we can set up a time where we can come in and educate, strictly
And
education
by the way,
about your
they are
federal-
obligated to offer some training
That's true.
to that
That's
agency.
correct.
And I can tell you time and time again, they don't. And the reason why they don't is because they're just too busy. But yet, when you get people retiring going to HR and asking for help and they don't give it to them, there's something wrong with that.
Not only that, if I can add real quick,
Yeah, go
Kirk,
ahead.
is that even if they bring someone in, they might be only talking about one thing,
Correct.
but that's not what it's about. This
No.
is your benefits. You need to cover topics like the FEHB, the FEGLI, the HSA, right? Dental coverage,
Yeah.
right? The TSP, how to retire. Oh my goodness,
There's a
it
lot.
goes on and on and on, and that's why we wrote the book, the Informed Fed. That's why all this information right here is to help you, and through the seminars, through the webinars, through the book, through coming in and doing the agency education, we can help you.
And the benefits analysis report.
Oh,
Honestly,
gosh,
that's
talk
where it
about that.
really
That's the
starts
key right
because
there, yeah.
this is a customized report, based on individual benefits. And we cover it all, right? We cover the TSP, what that would look like. We cover the survivor benefit, right? We did a conversation on that a while ago about, taking the 50% survivor and the cost to that, the 25%, the FEGLI, the FEHB. And in the FEGLI in the report, for example, with all the different options they have, okay, we'll run the report. Here's what it looks like if you keep everything that you have. You have Z5, which is the max that you can have. Here's what that cost is going to look like. Then, in addition to that, we'll run it if you were to take the reduction, maybe the 50 or the 75, and what that would look like in retirement. Costs obviously are dramatically different, but it starts with the federal benefits report.
Look,
It's all there.
it's about education. I don't expect everyone to understand everything Kirk just mentioned and Chris mentioned because we're trained to do this. We are certified. We've taken the training to take these classes every year because the benefits change, Chris, and we've done it. All three of us have gone through this. And when you sit in front of a client or a federal employee, it's really important that they know that.
Gosh, there's so much information right there, and it just gets me excited because now I can start talking about how we can help people. So that federal benefits analysis is something that you want to have in your hand. This will show you your name, your benefits, whether you worked 5 years, 15 years, 34 years, and 5 months, whatever it is, will show you. So that's what we talk about, doing a complete plan. So education is important to us. We hope it is to you, and that's why if you're watching this show right here, you got to get this benefits analysis. So there's so much there to talk about. Any questions, pick up the phone, give us a call. More importantly, schedule a time to meet with us. More to come right here on the Federal Benefits Show.
Hi, I'm Bobby Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. How much will you receive in your pension? How much does the survivor benefit cost? Can you keep your health insurance in retirement? With a free benefits analysis, we will answer all these questions and more. As a federal employee, it's critical to have a clear understanding to maximize your benefits. From FERS retirement to Social Security and health insurance, Our team at Federal Educators specializes in knowing your benefits. Schedule your free benefits analysis today.
Coming up next is the topic segment on the Federal Employee Benefits Show.
Hi, and welcome back to Federal Educators. I'm Kirk Agus. Our goal every week at Federal Educators is to help provide the education federal employees should have to make better decisions about retirement. Each of us at our firm have earned a Federal Retirement Consultant designation that signifies our depth of knowledge and expertise in federal benefits. Call us at 813-491-1786 to get in touch with us to help you better understand your FERS or CSRS benefits. Regarding your federal benefits, if you would like a free benefits analysis, visit federaleducators.com or call 813-491-1786. It's free and no cost or obligation to you. It's an individually tailored report summarizing all of your federal retirement benefits. Today, I will answer the question, can federal employees realistically retire in their 50s? Retirement can be hard to plan for anyone. Federal employees are no exception. But considering the savings and income you must gather to retire without long-term concerns, the goal might seem impossible. Figuring out the perfect retirement age is even harder for federal employees. Most of the hurdles involve navigating the policies and consequences of certain decisions. First, let's talk about the impact of early retirement. The retirement age makes a huge difference if you are a federal employee. For example, retiring in your 50s can significantly impact your pension more than if you were to retire in your 60s. Federal employees must have at least 20 years of service to be eligible. With less than 20 years of service, you might not qualify for a pension in your 50s. You might have to wait until you are at least 62. Deciding to retire at 61 or waiting a year until 62 can greatly impact your pension. For example, a person who retires at 61 with 23 years of service versus one who retires at 62 with the same years will have different pensions. At 62 years, you can be eligible for a 1.1% multiplier that increases the pension. Below age 61, you only get a 1% multiplier, which doesn't amount to much. So it isn't realistically possible for federal employees to retire in their 50s if they are looking for better benefits. Therefore, regarding your federal retirement benefits, if you would like to receive a free benefits analysis, visit federaleducators.com or call us 813-491-1786. It's free and no cost or obligation to you. It's an individually tailored report summarizing all of your federal retirement benefits. Now, let's look at the hurdles to retiring in your 50s. As a federal employee trying to retire in your 50s, you've already met many minimum requirements. At 62, you can retire with 5 years of service. At 60, it is possible to retire with 20 years of service. You must contribute at least 30 years of service at your minimum retirement age, 55 to 57, depending on your birth year. Retiring at the minimum retirement age with less than 30 years of service will reduce your benefits. Remember, you might want to leave as soon as you can, but your benefits will take a hit if you aren't careful. Plan your retirement carefully, and you may reap more benefits than you would if you didn't plan. For example, if you plan to retire at 50 with 30 years of service, holding off for 7 more years will qualify you for all your benefits. To sum things up, federal employees can retire in their 50s. It might not be realistic as most of their benefits may be nullified. Waiting for the right time to retire is smarter when you can get all the benefits you deserve. If you want to retire early, there are certain loopholes that you can use. You'll need an experienced professional to guide you through the process and help you achieve your desired benefits. Contact the Federal Educators at 813-491-1786 today and get one step closer to early retirement. The federal retirement process can be complex, and it's important to access accurate information from knowledgeable sources. At Federal Educators, we strive to be a great resource for understanding how to plan for retirement and learning about available benefits and options. Don't hesitate to call us, 813-491-1786, if you have any questions or would like to receive a personalized federal benefit analysis. It's free at no cost or obligation. That's it for today. Stay tuned for more from Federal Educators. Hi, I'm Kirk Agus with Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. How much will you receive in your pension? How much does the survivor benefit cost? Can you keep your health insurance in retirement? With a free benefits analysis, we will answer all these questions and more. As a federal employee, it's critical to have a clear understanding to maximize your benefits. From FERS retirement to Social Security and health insurance, our team at Federal Educators specializes in knowing your benefits. Schedule your free benefits analysis today.
Hi, I'm Chris Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Want to know how much your FERS pension will be? How about when you can retire? At Federal Educators, we specialized in federal employee benefits for over 2 decades. Schedule your free benefits analysis with us today. Clearly understanding your benefits, such as how and when to take distributions, is critical. Our benefit analysis will cost you nothing. Not taking it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. We look forward to speaking with you.
Coming up next on the Federal Employee Benefits Show, the Q&A segment.
Welcome back to the Federal Educators Show. I am Christina Walsh, and joining me today are Chris and Bobby Maggie.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you both for joining me. I've got some special questions today about federal benefits. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, I'm going to start with, what is FERS? Special Provisions Eligibility for Law Enforcement, Firefighters, and Air Traffic Control. What is early out, and what does credible coverage mean? Did you get all that?
All good questions.
Can you write that down?
Yeah. What is
Good
FERS?
question.
Yeah, so FERS is the Federal Employee Retirement System. That's
Right.
the new system that most of the federal employees are on right now. So there was
Started
this-
in like after 1984. Before that, there was SERS, Civil Service.
Okay.
Most people probably are FERS.
Okay.
So that's what that
And the
is.
difference is the old system, they didn't pay into Social Security.
Correct.
So they have a higher payout on their pension, up to 80% of their high 3, which is their highest 3 consecutive years of service. So if someone was making $100,000 a year, they meet the eligibility requirements, they can get as much as 80% of the high 3, so $80,000 a year of income.
Yeah.
But the new system, FERS, they do pay into Social Security. So they get Social Security, but their benefits are lower on their pension. So that's the difference between FERS and SERS.
But also they get the Social Security, they get the TSP, and they get the FERS pension. SERS doesn't get all that. So for their retirement, that's how it calculates. They don't know that until they see us, and we run the federal benefits analysis because they're shocked. But the thing is that they've worked all their career and not realizing when they retire what kind of benefits they have. Those are very important.
They're very important benefits.
And when you mention law enforcement, those are called
Yeah.
special provisions.
Right.
Okay.
So law enforcement, firefighters, air traffic control, they have different eligibility requirements. So they also have a higher payout on their pension. So if you are listening out there and you are a firefighter or special provisions, then you need to get with us, LEO, law enforcement, because we can show you how to retire early and maximize your benefits.
So what does it mean to have an early out, and what does credible coverage mean with
Great.
that?
So the pension is based off of your credible coverage, so
Okay.
years of service. So that's why it's so important to meet with us, because the leave and earnings statement, everyone knows that if you're a federal employee, you need to bring that in, because what it does is it'll show your SCD date, your service computation date, and then also from there we can calculate what your pension's going to be. So credible service is years
Years
and
of service.
time in the agency. And when you retire, you have to fill out this SF50 form, and there's other forms you have to fill out. We had a client that came in a couple of years ago. She thought she had 20 years of service, but she really only credited for 19 years and 6 months.
It's a verification form that they are basically responsible to fill out every year and keep on file.
Okay.
Because when they do retire, that has to be handed in. And like Chris said, if it's not right, then you don't get paid and it delays the retirement. So there's a lot of little things that they don't know, they need to know, and that's one of them.
And early out is a lot of people want to retire
Just
early.
going to mention that, yeah.
So there's some stipulations that they have to be aware of. So they have to meet eligibility requirements. If not, and they retire at the wrong time, there's a 5% penalty for every year
Right.
up to age 62 if they have not gotten 20 years of service. So they have to make sure that they know when they can retire. Because we did a review last year for a client. She thought she had the amount of time. She wanted to retire. She's like, I'm 58. She has not reached the eligibility, but there's a 5% penalty for her for 4 years. So she'll have if she wants to take the pension, it's a 20% reduction. So we informed her of that, and she said, oh, that's not what I want to do. I'll just go work the other 4 years. And she did, and there was no reduction.
But the option is if they do want to get early out, then they can postpone their benefits and not be disqualified for them. They just have to wait till their age, and then it goes back into play.
And the penalty does not apply.
And the penalty does not apply. That's huge, because we've seen people come in and they did exactly the opposite we told them. And the word is postpone, because that keeps your benefits, but you can leave. But then when the age comes where the MRA hits, then you get all your benefit. Why would you want to lose that?
Yeah.
You know, well, I can tell you why. I mean, there's some people that are not happy about working for the federal government, but that's any job, I guess, you know. But in this case, federal benefits and federal education is important because they have, and I've said it many times, I think the best benefits on the planet.
Yeah.
They just have to be educated. That's why we do what we do here.
Yeah.
You know, we offer a free benefits analysis to everyone out there. If they go to our website, Federal Educators, they can put their information in, and that's the conversation. Once they see that report, what we're talking about here, it's clear but not crystal clear.
Yeah.
But we're going to make it crystal clear.
We'll make it clear. Well, there are lots of things that are to come into consideration. We talked early out, we talked credible coverage, but there's also a survivor benefit for those that are married. Can you talk about what those options are and how they're calculated?
So so if you're married, you get a pension. Well, if you meet the eligibility, you get a pension. But if you happen to be married, you want to take care of your spouse, right? So there's a 50% survivor benefit you can give to your pension if, God forbid, you happen to pass away, or a 25% survivor benefit, where they would get 25% of what you get, or there's no option, so there's no survivor benefit. And that means if you pass away, you know, you work 20 years, you live 3 more months, and you collect your pension, and then you happen to pass away, and there's no survivorship benefit, your spouse won't get anything.
It's zero.
So it'll be zero. But the problem with that is if you select the no spousal benefit, and that happens where you pass away, then your spouse is not eligible for the health insurance, the FEHB.
Yeah.
So you have to elect a 25% or a 50% survivor to make sure that's taken care of for your spouse.
See, there's certain rules that they have to abide by, and that's one of them. They don't know that they have to pick a survivor benefit. There is a cost to it, and it comes off their pension. But if they don't take a survivor benefit, then they lose the health insurance. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But the health insurance they keep, as long as they worked 5 years, then the spouse is entitled to it. And many times, people come in and say, well, my husband has to work till 65 or 70. And the answer is no, he doesn't. So they're getting wrong information. And again, when we run that report, it's clear. I can tell you how many times you get a lady come in and say, wow, then quit, you know, because we can get the benefit. They don't want to lose the health insurance.
Yeah.
So it's a big benefit, but that's what the FEHB is.
There's lots of benefits there.
Sure.
But the understanding is that some federal employees, not all, also qualify for an additional benefit similar to Social Security called the special supplement. What is that exactly? How do they qualify? And where does that benefit come from?
So special supplement is an extra benefit by the agency if you're a federal employee that you could get prior to 62. So what age do we get Social Security? What's the first age we can get that people
What
know?
age do you get Social Security?
Me or you?
I'm going to ask
Anybody? Well, you're different.
you. When
Depends.
can you get Social Security?
Come on, Christine, give us the right answer.
Take a guess.
67.
67, but what age can you take it earlier?
Oh gosh, 65, 62?
65,
See,
62.
there you go. Are you a federal employee? We can help you out. No, actually, all kidding aside, it's 62.
62.
Unless there's other requirements that you get it before.
So think about this. If you're 60, you could retire, 60 and 20 years of service,
Yeah.
right? You'll get your pension, but then again, you can't collect Social Security until 62, right? But the special supplement enables you to collect another income source called the special supplement if you meet the requirements, 60 and 20 years of service. So you can get probably about 75% of the pay, what you would get at 62 on Social Security, coming from your agency, from the government. So you get your pension plus the special supplement, which would be 2 income streams. And that stops at 62. And then you can turn on Social Security, which will give you a higher amount. Now you got 2 income streams for the rest of your life, not touching your TSP.
Yeah, and the key there at 62, maybe if you're still working and you make more than the required amount, you would have to pay $1 back for every 2. So when we do the complete planning that we do, maybe they don't need to take Social Security at 62. So you let it defer until your full retirement age. And that's more for them, but at least if they're working now, they don't have to pay that money back. And that's important for them to know.
So in regard to Social Security, I think you were just describing how earned income can affect the Social Security payment.
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure.
Well, that's it. I mean, you have earned income, wages, you pay into it,
Yeah.
and that's where FICA comes in, right? So you pay into Social Security, and then that's where the longer you pay in, the more benefit you'll have later on. But that's the Social Security maximization report that we can run.
Yeah, we run that
for our
report for them
clients.
to show them, yeah. But the earnings test, what you're talking about, if they make more than a certain amount, they got to pay $1 back for every 2. Plus, it's taxable. So there's a double-edged sword there, and they have to be careful. So when we do the tax planning and we do the income planning, that what shows them, and by the way, they go, wow, we didn't know that. So maybe we shouldn't take it, right, guys? And exactly. So
Yeah.
it's education, Christine. I mean, it's people don't understand the federal benefits. That's why we do this show. That's why we talk about all these topics, because they're not educated on it. It's not their fault.
Right.
Don't forget, they're working 20, 30 years, but now when you come to retirement, it's a new game, and you have to understand the rules. So the questions you're asking, they all apply.
There's a lot of different
Oh, yeah.
benefits, but they all have their own rules, is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the federal educators are going to help
Yeah.
educate us all on those rules.
You got it.
Well, thank you both for joining me today, and we'll be back with more after this with the Federal Educators Show.
Hi, I'm Bobby Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Do you want to know how much your FERS pension will be? How about when can you retire? At Federal Educators, we've specialized in federal employee benefits for over 2 decades. Schedule your free benefits analysis with us today. Clearly understanding your benefits, such as how and when to take distributions, is critical. Our benefits analysis will cost you nothing. Not taking it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. We look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you for watching the Federal Employee Benefits Show. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Our goal each and every week is to help you better understand the retirement language so you know when to retire and know if you can retire. Make sure to tune in next week as we continue discussing all your federal benefits. Retirement may be more within your reach than you actually think. Request your free benefits analysis so you can understand all your federal benefits. Visit us online at federaleducators.com. That's all we have for today, and we look forward to seeing you here again next week.